I know that a lot of you are locals and a lot of you are like maybe new to Mobe. You guys all know what Mobe is, right? My Online Business Empire. That's the name of my training company. So you probably, you might not be that familiar with me. So I just want to tell you who I am. Take 5 minutes, that's all. And just tell you a little bit about who I am and why am I qualified to be up here on stage teaching you guys? Why am I qualified to teach you how to make $100,000 over the next 12 months? So this is kind of where it all began for me. I don't know if you can see the dates here, but around July 2011, that's when I first started getting some momentum in my business. And in fact, it actually began way before this. I got started in 2008, but it took me a couple of years to start getting anywhere. Like I was just constantly putting in time. I was putting in the hours. I dropped out of university to do this full time. I was spending all of this money and I wasn't making much. But finally, around late 2011, I start getting some results. October 2011. I'll never forget that month. That was my first $15,000 month. And it's not much now, but like back then, that was like, wow, I can't believe, hey, this actually is working. Later on that year, in December, just 2 months later, we went up to $45,000. Okay, $45,000. And I remember that month clearly, Christmas, New Year's, and I'm working the business, and I'm thinking, hey, can I get to $50,000? And I fell just short of it, got to $45,000. And now I thought, wow, now this is possible. Can I take this further? So the next month, January 2012, I really pushed hard. And that month, my goal was to do over $50,000. I thought, if I can cross that barrier, that's going to be awesome. We did $81,000 that month, okay? And that just really blew my mind. And we kept on building from there. It went up and up and up. October 2012, a little bit over $300,000. Now we hover around somewhere around $500,000 per month in revenue. It probably sounds a little bit better than it is. I don't get to keep it all. But still, this is a business that started off as mere thoughts in my head. I created products and I started selling them through the internet. Okay? I tell you this because I want you to know, wherever you are right now, it's possible. Okay, it's possible for you to do this. So 24 months, $700 to over $500,000 per month. Think about that. If you actually work out the percentage growth, it's somewhere around like 50,000%. It grew very, very quickly. It was a very wild ride. And that's why I say there will be people in this audience, who knows, maybe you won't be doing that much, $500,000 a month. Maybe you'll be doing a lot more. We never know. Somewhere among this crowd, there's going to be a few people who do very, very well over the next year. But for those of you who've been at this for a little while, you've been at this for over 6 months, over a year, and you keep on hearing about all of these results people are having, and people keep on telling you, hey, it's possible to make all of this money, but you're still not there. You're still struggling. You still sit down at your computer every day, you see 20 different emails from 20 different marketers. They're all doing the next launch, telling you to buy the next thing, and it's just not working. Again, I've been there, and that's okay. It's okay not to have had results up until this point. In fact, I have a very long history of businesses that didn't do so well. First business I started, I was 10 years old. Me and my brother, we grew up on a farm, and my brother, he's 12, I'm 10, and we're in this area where our local town had about 25 people in it. Actually, no, then it had 50 people in it. That was the boom times. That was when it was like the population reached its peak. It had about 50 people in the town. And we lived out on a farm, a wheat and sheep farm. And there was this main highway at the front of our driveway. We called it a highway because it got a lot of traffic. For us, that was like one car every 10 minutes. All right? We thought, hey. And we went and put up these little signs saying spuds for sale. And my brother and I, we'd stand at the mailbox and we'd have potatoes in little freezer bags that our mum brought. And we'd sell them. And I remember the first day doing that, we got 3 customers. And I think they thought it was cute, or they felt pity for us, but they actually brought these little bags of potatoes for like $2 or $3. I remember 3 customers making almost $10 that day. I remember going home and telling my parents and thinking, if I can do this 10 days straight, that's going to be $100. And that seemed like a fortune for me. Who here has kids? Do you guys, who's got kids? I believe like the greatest gift you could give your kids is to encourage entrepreneurship, because this planted a seed in my mind. I saw that, hey, I don't have to go and get a job to make my money. I don't have to trade time for money. I can start a business and I can create my own results. I don't have to rely on someone else to give me a paycheck. So this is what started it. And from there, I just started all kinds of little businesses. Like I started driving the header. You know what a header is? Like a harvester, the wheat, when I was 8 years old, and I was working for like $4 per hour, slave labor wages. And every so often, these little quails, these little birds, I'd be up there in the header, and they'd be running along in front of the header, trying to not get eaten by the front, and then they'd suddenly fly off. So I'd see them, and I'd quickly jump out of the header and run after them, and I'd take my shirt off and try and catch them, and then I'd take them home, put them in a cage, and I was going to try and breed them and sell them. They all died, so that business didn't quite work. My next business, I thought, marron. Marron are like lobsters, and we had dams for the sheep. So we brought some marron, baby marron. We brought about 500 of them, and my plan was put them in the dam. They're all going to breed, and we'll sell them to the local farmers. They can eat them, they can breed them, whatever. They all died. It wasn't going so far. So far, all of my businesses, they kept dying. My next business, and do not judge me on this. Sometimes, the last time I spoke at an event and I mentioned this, it was like a very animal-loving event. Now, I love animals, but as a farm kid, this is what we would do for entertainment on a Friday or Saturday night. We'd go roo shooting, and I don't do it anymore. Okay, just so you know. But I started this business trying to sell kangaroo furs. It didn't work out. I could never get them soft. They would be as stiff as a board, and it just didn't work out. And then I started a little business doing manual labor, like mowing lawns, cleaning houses, and so on. By this stage, this is me at 15. But I went to university. I went to Canada for a year after high school, backpacking around. And then I get back and I decide, all right, I'm going to go to university and I'm going to do psychology and philosophy. I don't know why, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. And after being in university for 3-4 years, I transitioned into business. I realized, hey, business is my calling. And I needed to start making some money. So rather than go and get a job, I decided I'm going to start a business. I'm going to call it Home Helpers. So what I do is I print off all of these flyers and I say, I will mow your lawns for $15 per hour or something like that. Or I will pick your weeds, in your garden, whatever. And I go and I start handing these around the neighborhood, and I'm walking around for 2 hours handing them out. Then I realize I didn't put my phone number on the flyers. So I go home, I write my phone number on the remaining 200, hand them out, and I wait. And 3 days later, I get the first call. And it's an older gentleman who's retired, and he used to be a CEO of some big company, some big insurance company. I forget what it's called. He hires me, and before I know it, I say to him, look, his name was Alan. I say, Alan, do you have any neighbors who might need their, me to go and pick some weeds or something like that? And he says, well, sure. And he introduces me to 2 people. And then I ask them. Before I know it, I'm at university, so I'd go and do my classes throughout the day, but I'm booked solid. I've got 15 clients, and I'm making, it's not exceptional money. I start out making $50 for 3 hours. That was my rate. And then I raise it to a little bit more, and I get my way up to $25 per hour. But before I know it, I have saved almost $70,000, okay? Now, this was saved up over years and years. And every time I would get some cash, I would go to the bank and deposit it, literally every single day, even if it was just $20. But I was saving it, saving everything I made. And I remember I'm in my 4th year at university, and I have this target in mind. I want to get to $100,000 by the end of the year. And I'm at like $65,000, $70,000, somewhere around that. And I think, I'm not going to get there mowing lawns. There's no way in hell that I'm going to reach that target. But I became obsessed with this target. And I wrote down, I typed down on a piece of paper, I will have a net worth of $100,000 by December 31st, whatever the year was. Line after line, that exact same statement. I printed off, I put that at my desk, I put it in the bathroom, I put it on the roof above my bed, so when I wake up, that's what I see. I became obsessed with this goal. And I realized, hey, this is the wrong vehicle. This lawn mowing business is not going to get me there. I need something else. So what do? I go looking online. Like most of you probably got introduced to this industry, I see a little ad that says something like, make $5,000 per week sitting at home in your underwear. Something like that. That's what the ad was. And I think, hey, that could work. That could get me to my target. I respond to the ad, I become a lead for someone, and a few weeks later, I buy into their system. $2,000. Shortly after that, I put in another $38,000 into this business. Okay? That pretty much wipes me out at that point. I still have a little bit of money left over, but that's all tied up in shares. I can't get to it. So it pretty much wipes me out. I've got maybe $500 in my bank account. And that's how it is for almost a year. I'm working full time, I'm doing 12 hours per day, and I started to get into some really bad patterns. I stopped going to classes at university. I'm in my 4th year, I'm 1 year away from graduating, and I have this like fairly promising career in, I wanted to go into like finance and investment banking. I had visions of doing that. I'm 1 year away from that, but I think, hey, this internet marketing thing is kind of cool. Let's see if I can make this work. And there was a guy in this company who'd done about $250,000 in 1 month. And when I heard that, I thought like, wow, that just blew my mind. And I'm telling like my sister, I'm telling my mum, hey, soon I'm going to be making that kind of money. And then they kept on going, well, where is it? Where is it? And as time went by, I started to feel like this isn't working. But here's the thing, guys. I'm now getting quite like really into this. I'm putting in 12 hours per day, stop going to university. I get into some really bad patterns. I start sleeping in like half the day to 1 p.m., 2 p.m. in the day. I wake up, I sit down at my computer with my coffee, and I start working. And I work to like 2 a.m. and then I watch movies all night. And I just did that for over a year. It was a very kind of bad lifestyle. And I started to just accept that I'm not good enough. I can't do internet marketing. I can't figure this out. I had like a lot of self-doubt. Because that's the thing, like if you come into this industry and after so long, like all of us, we're hopeful that, hey, we're going to be making those big numbers. But after a while, that little voice in your head, like even you begin to doubt it. You're like, well, I can't figure this out. And that's how it was for me. But September 2009, I had my first breakthrough. I got my very first sale in this company, $1,000. And I run around the house like screaming, like telling my sister, I'm like, yeah, made $1,000. And she's like, well, you spent like $50,000. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I just made $1,000. And I'm really, really excited about that, okay, because I think, hey, I can now do this again. Early 2010, I get my first affiliate commission. Okay, that's promoting someone's affiliate program. How many of you have tried affiliate marketing? Have you all tried it, promoting different products? Okay, only about half of you. Yeah, so from here on, I start promoting other people's launches as an affiliate, and I promote for a guy called Jonathan Budd. Do you all know who Jonathan Budd is? Yeah. Well, at the time, Jonathan, to me, was like this big guru who'd made millions of dollars. And here was little old me. I'd made like a few $1,000s. And I promote one of his launches. Somehow I come 10th out of all of these thousands of affiliates. And here's the truth. Out of most affiliates, 99.9% of them don't do anything. So a lot of you, like whenever you see me doing an affiliate contest and offering big cash prizes, it's much, much easier than you think to do well. It really is. But I come 10th somehow, and that's like my first great result. And I decide now it's time to create a product. And I go on a product creation rampage. In about 4 months, I create 4 different products. I'd been wanting to create my first product for like almost 2 years up until this point, but I just didn't have the confidence or the self-belief to do it. But now I decided I'm going to get this done. I create my first one. I think, let's keep this momentum going. Let's create the next one, the second one on the second month, and so on. Before I know it, I've got 4 products. Who here has created a product before? Like maybe, I don't know, like 4 or 5% of you at most. Those of you who haven't, tell me why. You think it's too hard? You don't know enough? $20? You want $20? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll give that to you later. All right. So, I will give out the money soon. I will. In just 1 second. All right. So, creating products it's a big struggle in this industry. So what did I do? Well, I'll get to that in a second. Before I get to that though, now I start having some success, and I get invited to speak at my first internet marketing seminar in San Diego. I live in Perth, Australia, literally on the other side of the planet. I fly all the way to speak at this event because I see an opportunity here. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not allowed to sell from the stage. I wouldn't know how to sell from the stage at that point. And I'm nervous as hell. Like for 3 months leading up to this, I was very nervous. Could barely sleep. And I'm practicing. I've got my little iPhone recorder every day. So when I drive to the office each day, I'm practicing my speech. And I'm terrified. But I get over that hurdle. Now I've done my first live event. And then this is where everything changed. This is where things like got absolutely crazy. So I asked you just a second ago, who's created a product? And most of you haven't. And I thought to myself, well, now that I've got products, what if I solve that problem for this market? What if I say to people, hey, look, you don't have to go and create products. You don't have to do all of that work. Instead, you can have mine, and if you sell them, I will pay you 90% commissions, meaning you get pretty much all the money. I'll keep 10% for merchant fees, for customer support, fulfillment, all of that stuff that you probably don't want to deal with anyway, but you get to keep 90% of the money. And I called this the MOB License Rights Program. Again, MOB, My Online Business Empire. License Rights Program because that's what you were doing. You were licensing out these products. You were able to sell them and keep pretty much all the money. I didn't really know how well this would do, but it started doing pretty well. People actually started getting results. They start promoting these products and they started making money. And I'm like, wow, this is actually really working. And then more people start getting results. And soon the industry is talking about this MOB License Rights Program. Before I know it, we're doing events and we're handing out big checks on stage for over $100,000 to people. There's Jonathan Budd getting a check for about $110,000 just from sending a few emails promoting this program. John Chow, who you'll be hearing from later on, he's done almost $200,000 with this program. Okay, people started doing very well. So this really changed everything. So I did my first event, May 2012 in San Diego. Who was at that event, by the way? There's like 1 or 2 of you. It wasn't that long ago. It was only really 1 year ago. I mean, this is fairly recent. Second event, San Diego, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you get the point. And we just recently did a massive conference in Fiji. We had about 100 people fly in from all over the world for our Platinum Mastermind in Fiji, which is like 6 nights long, okay? massive conference, and that was awesome. Who was at Platinum, by the way? Yeah, okay. Was that not awesome or what? It was, right? Yeah. And we've got an even bigger conference coming up in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, which I just got back from. I was just there for 2 weeks choosing the resort. But here's why I'm telling you all of this. It's not, it's not like about me to tell you, oh, look at me and how good I am. I'm telling you this because it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting where you are right now and wanting the same thing, and probably having a lot of these same thoughts that you're having right now. A lot of the same questions, perhaps some of the same doubts. And what separates me and you is really not that much at all. I'm not a whole lot smarter than you. It's really just a series of, I found something that worked. I found the right people to learn from. I found the right vehicle. I got a little bit of momentum, and then I kept it going. That's the biggest thing you need to understand. As soon as you get some momentum in this industry, here's what most people do. They have their first $10,000 month or their first $50,000 month, and they think, great, I've made it. And they go and buy a Porsche, or they go and buy a Ferrari. And before they know it, they're back to where they were, okay? I didn't do any of that. As soon as I started making decent money, I didn't spend a cent of it. I saved it all. I still drive a car that's worth about $1,500. I still fly economy whenever I fly around. Like I'm very frugal. But even back then, when I first started having those results, I thought, let's not like think, hey, I made it. Let's keep this momentum going. And there was a little bit of fear of losing that momentum. So that's why I kept it going. And you can't see these numbers very well, but that's what happened. In a 14-month period, 700 to well over 300,000 in revenue. It's possible.